Watch the ride.
Hey everybody, so my sleepy little town, this island of Hailing, made news recently for some very funny reasons. It's fine, love. You can have that corner, I didn't need it. You see, on the island, there is a place which I'm going to go up to in a minute, which is called Sam's Sunflowers. And what this is, a local farmer converted one of his field spaces during the summer into a sunflower patch. And the idea of this sunflower patch is that you could go down there and you can pick a couple of sunflowers and you pay for the sunflowers, and you also can take photos down there, and they have photo shoots for kids and things that people go down there and do. You know, it's a fantastic diversification of a farmer using his fields for another use during the summer, and he still gets to sell sunflowers. The same farm has farm stores and stuff, so you know they can maybe get people to go down to the farm stores and buy some products for them there. So you know, it's a really good thing. And this has been going on for, I think, 3 or 4 years. I'm not entirely sure, because obviously COVID would have had some problems in the middle there. It might have been longer, I don't know. But the point is, they've been doing it for quite a while. And recently, as I say, this sunflower place managed to make not only the local Facebook groups and then the local news, but then some national news outlets and even some international news outlets, for the comedy factor of what I'm going to tell you about. There you go, Sam's Sunflowers this way, because it used to be in there, they've moved the field. So, there you go, this is Sam's Sunflowers, and as you can see there is a good 40 or 50 cars there, and you've got all the sunflowers off in the distance in the field, and that's where people go. I'm not going to go in there and disturb them. But the reason why they made local news is because some Instagrammers came down, particularly some lady Instagrammers, and they wanted to take some natural photographs. And such natural photographs involved things like, you know, basically being topless and holding sunflowers in front of your waps as a classic photo. Now, as Sam said, I am no prude. He's a young guy, he's about the same age as me. He said, I am no prude. I have no problem, you know, if people want to do these sorts of things, but not in my field, because the problem is, it's not for that. It's for families and for children to come down. And he said, as he said, I'm not a prude, but even I think he said, even I came around a corner and saw someone in a thong, was just a little taken back, because you just don't expect to see that in your field. Now, you might think this was an isolated case, and if it was, it would probably be a case of, hey, don't do that. Or, did you see what they did down there? Jesus Christ, people, right? But it keeps happening. It's got around on Instagram, and people keep coming down and basically getting naked in the middle of the field when it's publicly open, and just, you know, getting naked and taking pictures of themselves for Instagram. Now, say, like Sam, I have no problem with people taking pictures of themselves when they're naked. If you're proud of your body, that's a great thing. But where you choose to do that is kind of relevant. And when you're on someone else's private property in what is essentially a children's attraction, although it is for all the family, it's a little bit thoughtless, self-centered. I mean, I don't want to go into the other stereotypes about Instagrammers and social media influencers, which I am aware of the fact that, I'm not an influencer, so you can shove that up your butt. There's a very different meaning to that, and it's not what I do. I'm a content creator. So yeah, people coming down here, getting naked in there, and taking pictures while people are trying to use it with their families, and it happened enough to cause a problem to the point that you had to talk about it. Now, as much as this is, you know, a very light-hearted thing, and please don't do that, there's been no harm or no abuse or any sort of, you know, foul play anywhere going on, it's just people doing that. It has made it through the news networks as a kind of light-hearted and finally thing. And this is absolutely fantastic for Sam, because it is the best promotion he could have ever have got. It's just funny that by people doing that, as much as he didn't want them to do it, it was actually mildly beneficial, or could be very beneficial. You know, it got well known. People may not have heard about it, and now all the local newspapers are talking about Sam's Sunflowers, and people are like, we'd love to go to that. You've also going to, I bet their single men attendees have probably gone through the roof as well. Like, I'm sorry, when's the busy, you know, when's the whap out time? There is no whap out time. Okay, well, when do you see it the most? I'm just saying. Now, I used to directly work in social media for another company, so I do understand how social media works, and obviously I've having done this for like so many years, I understand this space. And it suddenly dawned on me that what if this had never happened? What if no one had got their WAPs out? What if this was the smartest marketing ploy idea you've ever heard of? I think it's called disruptive marketing. It's like where you basically cause a fuss over something to get attention. Now, I'm not saying Sam did that at all. Be clear here. I'm not. I'm just saying that I could see, if I was a social media manager and I had a small farm or something like that, like in Sam's scenario, how damaging would it be to put out something and say, you know, can you stop getting your WAPs out in our fields, for it to then get around and then get all that publicity for free? And this is how social media marketing kind of works now. Again, I'm going to make it completely clear and separate the two issues here. I am not saying Sam or any of the people there did this. I think it generally did happen. I'm sorry for them that it did happen, but I'm sure hopefully they'll see more people through this, and in the end it will just be a funny story, which I'm sure it already is, and more people came out of it, so it was grand. Fine. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how marketing works. You see, you can spend an awful lot of money just getting your ad in front of people's faces, you know, sponsored links and stuff. But the best way to do marketing is to do it in a way that no one knows it's marketing. Get the press to do it for you for free. Now, there's a few cases I can think of that did this. One of them, I think, was when a Range Rover was released. They basically did a picture of a Range Rover and someone had keyed into the side of it or spray painted heat sheet hid or something like that, or all this really quite derogatory stuff on the side of this Land Rover Range Rover. And that was a marketing company doing it for the company because, you know, Lad Bible and all sorts of things like this take a picture of the side of the car and everyone takes pictures and it all goes around, oh my god, have you seen this? Oh, I wonder what this bastard did, blah 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 blah. But it just got the picture of that car everywhere. And even you'd think, well, you won't want to have the negative association of, you know, well, people who drive these cars cheat on their wives, but it's not a thing, it doesn't matter. As someone famously said, it's better to be talked about negatively than not talked about at all. You know, if that's how a lot of people get well known these days, through negativity. I mean, Joe Rogan had a big controversy a few years ago, remember? And he said out the back of that, he only saw growth because it got him known. Now, I don't want to go into the social issues and all the stuff to do with what that was actually all about, but I'm just saying that negativity leads to promotion regardless of whether it's... So as I say, it doesn't matter if it's good or bad attention. Attention is attention. Anyone talking about you is a good publicity thing, and thus, for that company, it was fine. There's another example you might know of a lorry being stuck between two buildings, and it's like the one you'll see, the comment you'll see all the time, or like the meme is, how? Like, how could you actually manage to get that truck in that hole like that? Read what's on the side of the truck. That's the people who've paid for this to happen. They had it craned in for a publicity shoot. Now, whether you do it as a publicity shoot, that you organise it and just use the pictures yourself, or whether you do this out in the wild and let other people see it and get pictures of it and let the story spread virally, which is the better thing. By doing it this way, you're basically doing all this marketing, getting huge amounts of numbers of people interacting with it, and it's all basically free beyond what the initial setup stunt cost. So as I say, I'm just saying, if you're someone who runs some sort of small attraction, maybe not kid-derived, you could, I don't know, local airsoft. Could female airsofters stop getting their WAPs out because people have had a couple of teat-based injuries? You know, now you've got a shit ton of people going down there going, when's the tits come out? It's lying, and it is dishonest, completely. But it's also kind of like a white lie. Like, if you come down here because you are hoping to see some WAPs, then you might be disappointed, but you might still have fun having your day out airsofting. You watch some airsofting company or paintballing company in the UK is going to go on and about. It's going to be like, we had to turn down a topless tournament. These like 30 women wanted to do this. Now, I don't actually really like the fact that so much marketing is aimed at men using women, if I'm honest. Not for like some white knight reason or anything. It's like when I went to the bike show. To the NEC one, and I wanted to take a picture of a bike, and there's some model like going in front of it, and I was just like, hey, could you move out of the way so I can take a picture of the bike? She looked so offended. She looked mad. I'm like, look, I'm not really interested in taking pictures of you, and I don't want to post pictures of this bike with you next to it, so can you please get out of the shot? And it's the manufacturers that put them there. Now, this is getting off into an entirely different area of discussion, which could get very heated, so let's not go down that road here. But let's just say that it would seem, historically, tits are good for publicity. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new here, and if you want to help support this channel through Patreon, please consider doing that. Links in the description. You'll never guess, recently in our Discord I had to tell all the female members to stop whapping their waps out on live. They don't. There's virtually no women in there. There's a couple. It's mostly a massive sausage fest. But you come and join the fest. Okay, bye bye now.